Hi, friends. Today we are starting into the next lesson in our Studies Weekly. And this week we're going to be learning all about businesses in Georgia. So, starting a business. So, this is week 28, and we're really looking into this fancy word, entrepreneurship. We've talked about this word a couple days already, but entrepreneurship means starting your own business, being your own boss, and figuring out what you're going to do and what the rules are from there. So, let's look into starting a business in Georgia. Many entrepreneurs have started businesses in Georgia. Entrepreneurs start their own business instead of working for someone else. There's a lot of risk involved in beginning a business. And this is going to be something we're going to learn about this week is the risk and the challenges of starting all by yourself and the failure that you are going to run into. Let's read about one entrepreneur named Bahman Irvani. Bahman Irvani had a successful shoe business in Iran, but he had to flee the country when a revolution broke out. He came to America and discovered that most inexpensive shoes were uncomfortable. Some designs even led to foot and back problems. Bahman knew he could provide a better product. Bahman used the Japanese principle of reflexology to design footwear that was comfortable and good for your health. Bahman believed his design would benefit the American people, and he decided to start a shoe company in the United States. With the decision made to open his business, now he had to decide on a location. Irvani looked at many possible sites. Because he was going to make shoes, he knew he had to choose an area with people he could hire and train. These people would be his employees or human resources. Bahman knew he would need land on which to build his factory. The location would need to be close to good transportation routes because he would need to ship his shoes. When an important decision has to be made, some people may use a tool called a decision tree. In a decision tree, you write the problem at the bottom. Then you list 3 choices you may want to consider. Next, you list the pros and cons of each choice. Pros are the good things about a choice. Cons are the bad things. Bahman may have used such a tool to narrow down his choices. For example, let's say he had to choose between building in San Diego, California, Lincoln, Nebraska, or Buford, Georgia. San Diego had a lot of potential workers and does have a good port for shipping. However, shipping over land would mean traveling over mountains, no matter which direction you would choose. Lincoln, Nebraska, is in the middle of the country and does have a need for jobs. There are numerous ways in and out of Lincoln, but Nebraska is known for its fertile land. Could Bahman really build a factory on valuable farmland? As for Buford, Georgia, the town already had a history of producing shoes. There had been a factory that produced leather shoes until it burned down in 1981. Buford also had 2 major highways running through it, which would make transportation easy. Fill in the decision tree and see which town you think he should choose. So, we have San Diego, Lincoln, and Buford. Okay, well, here's our decision tree, where to build a factory. So for San Diego, it's a good port for shipping, but the cons are you would have to ship over mountains, right? We've got our Rocky Mountains running through here. Well, what about Lincoln, Nebraska? Let's go back and see what they said about Lincoln. So, Lincoln, Nebraska is in the middle of the country and does have a need for jobs. There are numerous ways in and out of Lincoln. So, pros are jobs needed, right? People need jobs. Let me put the text box in instead. People need jobs, and we learned there are lots of ways in and out of Nebraska. But what about our cons, so the negative things? Let me shrink this again. Did not realize it was going to be this large. There we go. Okay, what about the negative things? I'm going to pull my text box down to my cons. Let's find out what's bad about Lincoln. But Nebraska is known for its fertile land, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. But could Bauman really build a factory on the valuable farmland? So that's a con, right? There's valuable farmland needed for farming, not shoes. So that's a con. Let's look at Buford, Georgia. Okay. It has a history of producing shoes, and the one shoe store that was there had burned down. Also, there's 2 highways. Let's see. So, let's say has had a shoe factory before, and there are 2 major highways. Okay, those are pretty good pros. Let's see, are there any cons, anything negative about Buford, Georgia? So let's look. There weren't any cons, there were none. So let's decide. Should we go to San Diego, Lincoln, or Buford? There's good ports for shipping in San Diego, but you'd also have to ship over mountains. In Lincoln, people need jobs, but this place has farmland that's needed for farming, not shoes. Buford has already had a shoe store. There are 2 major highways in Buford, and there weren't any cons. I think the best place we should go is Buford. After much consideration, Irvani settled on the town of Buford. And this says, did you choose correctly? Now that he had his location picked, Irvani bought 300 acres and built his factory. The factory was filled with much needed machinery. These machines are considered capital goods. Capital goods are any type of item you buy so that you can produce something or provide a service, such as an assembly line for shoes or hair scissors for a barber. Irvani opened the factory in 1984, and the Okabashi shoe was born. The company prides itself on producing high-quality shoes that are not high-priced. The factory produces shoes that are 100% recyclable, and they have a zero waste policy. So that means they're not just making trash. They are making sure everything they use gets used up 100%. If a shoe is messed up in production or there are extra scraps of material, it's all ground up and used again in a different pair of shoes. This product helps minimize the impact of the business. There we go. This product helps to minimize the impact the business has on Georgia's natural resources and its environment. The company also is proud to be 100% made in the USA. Actually, you could say they're 100% made in Georgia, since it's the only factory that makes these fine shoes in our great state. So, how cool is that? We just learned about a business. Now, this was a lot of success. A lot of good things have happened here. Very cool. Next, we're going to learn, we'll save Cesar Chavez, but next we're going to learn about Mary Kay. So, get ready for the next video.